My name's Tom Avery and I'm a polar explorer. My great passion for the great outdoors began when I was sort of 7 years of age and first read about the adventures of Captain Scott, those old Ladybird storybooks, and his story completely captivated me, this incredible bravery that he displayed, and of course he died on his return from the pole, and his story really did stir something deep inside of me, and strange as that may sound, I knew that from that moment on my life wouldn't be complete until I followed his footsteps to the South Pole. I realised that a life behind a desk was not going to be for me, so that was the moment really that I decided, look, if you are going to try and get down to the South Pole, you're going to try and achieve your childhood ambition, now is the time to do it. So I packed in my life in London, I moved out to the Alps and started preparing for, training for a journey to the South Pole, and it took 2 long years to put the team together, raise all the funds, sort out all the logistics, all the press side of things, and to get into shape. Seeing Antarctica from the air, it really does blow your mind. It's geography on a monumental scale. It's basically been snowing there for 5 million years. The snow has built up to extraordinary depths, like 2 miles deep in places. Only the highest mountains protrude through the blanket of snow and ice. So, it was beyond my wildest expectations. Obviously read a huge amount about it over the years, but when you see it, it is pretty awe-inspiring. And I just couldn't wait to get down, to touch down on the ice and to get going. This is a dream that I've had for 20 years. And I was a bit apprehensive because, it's incredibly difficult. A lot of expeditions end in failure. People die in Antarctica quite regularly. So I was nervous, but I felt as though we'd prepared as much as we possibly could. The journey to the South Pole, journey of 700 miles, which, to put it into perspective, is a bit like going from London to Barcelona. So a huge distance. We're going to be pulling our sleds behind us just like Captain Scott did, travelling on skis. And we estimated that the journey was going to take us about 2 months. We had some huge storms along the way. We ran low on food supplies. I even got altitude sickness, believe it or not. The South Pole is 10,000 feet above sea level. And, I've been to more than double that height on my climbing expeditions. But here in Antarctica, I was suffering really badly from the altitude. And, there was a chance that if things got worse, that I might have to be evacuated. And that would have just been heart-wrenching. Thankfully, it sort of just about cleared up and I made it. Most of the time in Antarctica, the winds are in your face. And actually, that causes the temperatures to plummet. Chucking a bit of wind chill and it can drop to -40, -50 very quickly. And when that's in your face, that is, pretty demoralising. But on a couple of occasions, the wind actually came from behind, and we were able to deploy our kites. We brought along these enormous kites with us. It was a bit like the modern sport of kite surfing. And when you get these things up into the air, they inflate. And because you're travelling on skis, you fly across the ice. Those days with the kite, we were doing 30 miles plus on each of those days, which is fantastic. And those 3 days actually enabled us to go and break the record and become the fastest team to reach the South Pole, which was a fantastic way of finishing the journey, because we had been through a huge amount, and just catching sight of the pole on the horizon was a fantastic sense of achievement. It really was. Just getting there, it did feel wonderful, a huge weight off my shoulders that I'd had for 20 years. And it was time to think about what to do next.